actually glad you brought that up. I'm about to roll out a new program called How to Be a Man. Because you guys say I'm so masculine and manly, who can show you better than me? So if you want to learn how to be a real man and you tired of listening to YouTube videos of men trying to tell you how to be a man when they ain't figured it out either, then get on my program. Because on my program, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach you how to put in job applications. I'm going to show you how to fill out a resume. I'm even going to throw in showing you how to dress for the interview. I know.
Why anyone would call this woman masculine is beyond me, guys. Just some straight out-of-line comments going on there. She's clearly quite feminine. She's just trying to gently nudge us in the right direction. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, we're going to be looking at this particular TikTok on a lady who is, has been described as masculine, trying to sell her quote-unquote course here. But before we do, gentlemen, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord, link in the description if you haven't already. And if you'd like to support the channel, guys, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description for some exclusive videos and other bits and pieces. But guys, on today's show, we're also going to be taking a look at an interesting dating profile of a single mother. And we're also going to be looking at the science of being attractive, right? Because, and the article's interesting because we're going to hear why it is not necessary for women to be pretty anymore, guys, apparently. But we're going to jump back into this TikTok, and I'd like to apologize to you, gentlemen. I've tried to lower the volume, but that damage control doesn't seem to be enough. Let's keep going.
Freebie. I'm also going to show you how to pull your pants up and wear them like a real man. And if you sign up for my extra program, I'm going to show you how to take care of your kids, and I'm going to show you how to properly communicate with women without physically and verbally abusing them and punching holes in walls. So if you're tired of walking around here being a loser who gets mad at posts on the internet that talks about how behind you are, then you need to sign up for my program. The link will be in the bio. Thank you.
I mean, there's just a lot to unpack there, guys. So we're just going to quickly go over a few of the main points that we have to address from this video. One is obviously supposed to be satire. So she actually does have a point here, guys. You don't need to be buying courses on how to be masculine and all that kind of crap. Okay, a lot of guys will try and sell you, oh, you need to be. Here's a course on how to be masculine. Buy my $2,000 such and such so that you can become masculine. Guys, girls for one do not define your masculinity, so let's get that out of the way. Second of all, I've got no problem with people selling useful advice, right? I think there's definitely room for useful advice if there's a market for it. I mean, sure, why not? If people want to support the channel and things like that. But guys, like $2,000 for these masculine products, it's like, what on earth is happening out there? But let's just address this part because she kind of snuck it in real quick. She mentioned the part about taking care of your kids and not treating women like crap. That's kind of interesting because a few things to point out here. One, a lot of men care very deeply about their kids. A lot of men are separated from their kids but still care very much about them. So it's not so much that there's a lot of men out here who don't care about... I don't like the idea that, girls will push that men don't care about their kids. Guys, we've got guys over here in the comments that will tell you their life stories and how about their kids have been taken away from them for however many years. And let me tell you, they're not particularly happy about it. So this whole idea that men are just these selfish people who don't even care about their kids and they just treat people like crap, that's not the case. Most men care very deeply about their kids if they have them, or if they did, would care very deeply about them. And most men are not interested in treating people like crap. When I say stuff, guys, we're going to jump into the article real quick here, so I might just switch the screen while I'm talking. But most guys are not interested in treating girls like crap or anything like that. When I mention on this channel, look, girls respond to guys who treat them terribly, don't reply to their messages, only call them over at 2 a.m. and stuff like that. I'll get guys in the comments will say, well, Taylor, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have to be rude. I don't want to have to do this. And that's totally fair. Because a lot of guys are just not interested in treating people like crap. Because most guys are good guys. We got some weirdos out there, sure. We got some outliers out there, but for the most part, guys, to say that guys don't care about their kids, man, just blows my mind, okay? But guys, we're gonna jump in here. I don't know what to call these segments. Joker calls it the losses of the day. But gentlemen, we got an interesting dating profile here. So we got this lady whose name is blacked out, but let's just let's just go through her bio here. Okay, so she's 26. She's a foodie. She's into spirituality, cooking, music, and comedy. She has a 3-year-old son. She likes being treated like a queen. She is a believer of God, but she is far from perfect. I appreciate true connections and genuine people. I desire to be better than who I was yesterday. I like nerdy, cool guys, lol, someone who is out of the ordinary. Because I am very unusual myself, so don't be fooled by my appearance. And just scroll down so you guys can see here. Laughing emoji. I've seen every Harry Potter movie. Laughing emoji again. But I have to say, I've watched The Great Gatsby 100 times, hoping to shine some light on this filthy app. This certain thing invited me. And yeah, so she's 26. It's almost like a game of count the red flags. Okay, so if we're just gonna jump through here real quick. First of all, we got the tattoo. Second of all, we got a club outfit. Third of all, we've got a 3-year-old son with the father not in sight. We've got 26 years old and single. We've got the entitlement through the roof, believing that she should be treated like a queen. We got the very flexible morals that are, girls who run into older ages, they typically bring up the whole, well, I'm a Christian now, right? Or I'm a believer now, or I'm born again. Guys, do not be accepting this this born again stuff. Okay, it's just a way for them to manipulate men into dating them, basically, by trying to appear pure. Okay, so I don't know how many red flags we're up to now. We're like near 10. I don't. So let's keep going. I appreciate true connections and genuine people. Again, this is something that girls will put in their bio, like, oh, I'm not here for a casual thing. Guys, if there's a single mother and she writes in her bio, I'm not here for a casual thing, you better believe she is a casual thing, alright? She likes nerdy, cool guys, lol, someone who is out of the ordinary. You can interpret this how you want. So a lot of guys are going to say that I'm being too cynical when I say it like this. But nerdy guys, translation, guys who who have stacked their bread, basically. A lot of guys will be very introverted and they'll have stacked their bread, and they're a good target, right? Maybe they're guys who have got their house deposit ready to go. Maybe they've got a house ready to go. Maybe they've got lots of things in their life. But when they say nerdy guys, my interpretation of that is a guy who's got some pocket change ready to save the situation with. But guys, we've got enough red flags in there. A bit of an interesting dating profile. And we're going to switch into today's article, which is the meat of the video, gentlemen. And so we're just going to switch into this, and I'll read the title to you guys. All right, so the science of S3XY, 5 alluring traits that have nothing to do with looks. Guys, articles like this and pictures like this are very attractive to women who don't necessarily look the best. We got a lot of girls aging out kind of thing, struggling to get their family together because they've spent too many of their early years, out there partying and ruining their body. So if you tell them, hey, wait a minute, you don't need to look good to secure a boyfriend, then they'll want to believe it, right? So let's crack into this. I've only ever been attracted to a woman once, so we're reading this from a male perspective, it seems. It was over 10 years ago, but I still remember how electrifying her presence was. Whenever I was around this girl, it was clear that I wasn't the only one who thought she was incredibly attractive. It seemed to ooze out of her pores, and she exuded an energy that was noticeable by everyone in her presence. In fact, the mutual friend who introduced us later confessed that she was the only woman she had ever had a crush on too. So already we got some weirdness coming out of the gate. Okay, but let's just unpack this, all right? This is kind of interesting. If you're a man and you've had any sort of experience in life, you will know this is just complete BS. Like, you walk into a gym, right? There should be a girl in there that you're attracted to, generally speaking. I don't understand this whole, maybe he's trying to appear noble. Maybe he actually is not that interested in girls. I don't particularly care. But this is just some fishery right out the gate, okay? But let's just look at this. How electrifying her presence was, and it was noticed by other people. Right? I need to sneeze. Oh, goodness. All right, so this is something that women care about and not so much men. Guys, oh goodness me, I'm trying to sneeze here. Um, so if a girl has an electrifying presence when she walks into the room and everybody notices her, let me tell you that is a red flag. And the reason that's a red flag is because that's guys, there's a whole argument on this side of the internet whether or not you want a girl who turns every head in the room or whether or not you want a girl who turns no heads. I personally am on the side of I want a quiet, boring, but attractive girl. I don't want a girl who's walking into a room and every guy's just staring at her, thinking that she's playing the field still. Okay, so a lot of these things are like walking into a room and being noticed by the room. That's something that's attractive in men. Okay, that's a trait that if you were to describe that to a girl, like if you were describing a guy to a girl, and you said, "Oh, every time he walks into a room, everybody notices. You know, he just exudes power, and people can feel his energy." The girl's ears will pick up at that. She'll like hearing that. She'll be like, "Oh, well, what is this guy? He's kind of interesting." But that's not something that. If you want that in a girl, man, it's like it's more or less a signal of being a 304, is what I'm trying to say. Let's continue with the article. It's worth noting that this person doesn't look anything like what the marketing world tells us that attractive people should look like. Being half Samoan and half Caucasian, she had a curvy build that is a far cry from model thin figures we often see in ads. She also had a head full of frizzy hair, the kind people spend hundreds trying to straighten. While she didn't tick any of the boxes for conventional standards of beauty, she had an incredible presence that was impossible to miss. Guys, we have a few things to say about this, but we're going to get back to this in a moment and continue reading for a moment. The French have a phrase, something I cannot pronounce, which translates to I don't know what. It is generally used to describe someone who has that special something that you just can't put your finger on but is irresistibly appealing. If ever there was a person who was the human embodiment of this phrase, it was the girl I'm describing. For a long time, I couldn't figure out exactly why I found her so attractive. However, as my interest in behavioral psychology and social sciences grew, it all started to make sense. While no one will dispute that physical attractiveness contributes to how attractive you are, psychologists have uncovered other traits that have nothing to do with looks that make people irresistible. Here are some of the traits of desirable people that the marketing world will never tell you about. So, again, the reason why this article is so appealing to women in particular, women approaching the wall, is because they can say, "Oh, well, my body's deteriorating anyway, so maybe I can have some other salvageable characteristics that can help me lock down a guy while I've still got time, or or that can help me lock down Chad, who I haven't been able to lock down for the past 20 years." Okay, we're just going to look at this part right here. Okay. It's worth noting that this person doesn't look anything like what the marketing world tells us attractiveness should look like. She's half Samoan and half Caucasian, and she had a curvy build. I mean, okay. A curvy build that is a far cry from the model thin figures we often see in ads. Gentlemen, if you've been paying attention to marketing these last few years, we have made a sharp turn from thin and attractive women. We've actually taken a turn towards everybody is beautiful. It doesn't matter your body type. Be happy in your own skin. And that would be a great message to believe, assuming that every body type, one, was attractive, and two, was healthy. Guys, there are people who I know in real life who they just seem happy with where they're at, and their body is it's not good. Okay, they're in a situation where they need to be improving their body. They need to be in the gym doing something. But the media will push this idea that, hey, girl, you know what? You're beautiful no matter what. You deserve a man. It doesn't matter if you look terrible. It doesn't matter if you can't cook. It doesn't matter if you're masculine, challenging, dominating. Those traits, hey, as long as you've got your career, it doesn't matter what your body looks like. That's just absolute ridiculousness. Okay, so this whole thing of thinness being pushed and girls on towards that end of the spectrum, absolutely not. Because of the rise of the womanist agenda, gentlemen, we're seeing a lot of a push for be happy in your own skin. Basically, and that idea, we won't spend too much longer on it before we go into this section, but that idea is strong to push because one, people want to believe it, and two, it just ruins the family unit. Because you can tell girls that all you want, but men are just standing over here. We're looking at it like, what are you talking about, man? We do not like girls of all body shapes and sizes. You might get guys who have been brainwashed to believe that. But if you want to talk about guys who have self-respect and have a clue and have preferences that they haven't been shamed out of, then guys are just in general not attracted to girls who have unhealthy bodies. Not, and again, I have to say not all, because not all police will come for my channel. Guys will be like, oh, well, Taylor, I like a girl who's, yeah, okay, right. But for the most part, guys like girls with healthy bodies, all right? Now let's crack into the rest of this article and we'll wrap up the video, gentlemen. They're completely comfortable in their own skin. They know how to make other people feel good. They know their worth. We're going to come back to this one. They're having a great time. They have the courage to be vulnerable. They don't compare themselves to another person. And those are the things in the article, gentlemen. But we're going to make a few quick pit stops here as we address some of these points. So the first one I want to point out, guys, is this. So we already pulled up, let me see if I can pull it back here. We already pulled up this lady here with her dating profile. And girls like this are the ones who will typically tell you phrases like this. Knowing your worth, knowing yourself, or knowing, like, saying that you deserve things, or that, because this type of phrase is used by girls typically and at the same time they'll say, well, I've been through so much, so now I know my worth. Right? I've been through the bad boys. I've had my fun. Now I know my worth, and I just need a little puppy man to come along and to pay my bills and to sit quietly in the house for me and pay for the house. Okay? And a lot of times guys don't understand, because they'll get into marriages and stuff like that, and they'll think that the girl likes them. Because girls will play this card. They can fake liking you to get a house, get a family, and that sort of thing out of you before leaving. They can absolutely do that. Now, am I saying all girls are going to do that? No. But it is certainly something that they can do. But returning to this phrase here, guys, they know their worth. Don't fall for this crap. If you get a girl saying, well, I regret my decisions. I'm not here for a hookup. I just want to find a real man, and she knows her worth now. You better run for the damn hills. Okay? Just absolutely run. Because what she's telling you is that she sees you as a provider. And that is not a position that you guys want to be in, okay? Now, we're just... I have to hold in the laughter here, guys, because I'm going to read this paragraph to you guys, all right? We'll just read the whole thing, okay? I recall a conversation once among our friends where someone had mentioned, dating seems so effortless for this person. It was true. She was never obsessed with whether someone had texted her the next day or worried about how to impress a romantic interest. She didn't wait to make plans just in case someone she liked might text her. She valued herself, and that included valuing her own time and attention. Because she never waited around for a guy or tried to fit her life around someone else, people dating her knew that they needed to get their act together if they wanted to see her. It's important to note that Natalie wasn't playing hard to get. She was simply too busy living her own life to be available to them at the drop of a hat. Dave later told me that one of the things that made Natalie more attractive for him was the fact that she never sought validation from him. She didn't need him to text her constantly, and she never felt the need to talk about how awesome it was. He also knew right away that Natalie would never put up with any disrespect or mind games. Knowing that he had to work a little for her attention and affection made him want to chase her more. And here's the real kicker, Jeremy. It's like, here we go. As dating expert Matthew Hussey says, show a girl you don't care and she will chase you. Show a woman you don't care and she'll replace you. Now, guys, for those of you guys who are in my Patreon, you'll know why I'm laughing. Now, I accidentally mixed up this guy's name, but it's Matthew Hussey. Now, this guy is a YouTuber, and he gives dating advice to women, gentlemen. Now, if you've seen dating advice that caters to women, oh my goodness, is it some absolute snake oil. So from a business perspective, this man is quite intelligent, just out here lying to the ladies, right? But this whole thing about girls who... Let's just address this. Dating seems to be so effortless for Natalie. The implication here, guys, is, and this is the thought that we're going to wrap up the video with, is Dating for girls is not something, it's not dating, okay? And what I mean by that is, for girls, dating should not be a marathon. It should not be something that they're involved in for a long time. If they want to have a family, if they want to have kids in the future, if they want to get married, the dating market is something that girls should enter and very quickly leave, because they have a very small window. We as guys, we have to spend years building up what we're worth. We have to spend years in the gym getting our body right if we want to look more attractive. We have to spend a long time increasing our value. But to imply that girls have a dating, they're dating for 10 years, my goodness. If a girl has been going through dating and it's something that's effortless to her, I mean, what that communicates is that she's just a 304. That's all that communicates. Dating is not a marathon that girls have to run. Dating is very easy for women, guys. Dating is, you go somewhere, you sit down, a guy will talk to you. And then and then you go to step 2, which is choosing a guy. Okay, so I should hope that dating is not difficult, but again, the implication here is that dating is something that girls should do for a long period of time. Absolutely not. But guys, we're going to wrap up today's video here. As always, if you enjoyed, make sure you leave your thoughts in the description. Any personal experiences and stuff you'd like to share, feel free to leave them. I try to read as many as I can. These days it's gotten quite difficult with the amount of comments, but be sure to share with each other in the comments, have a read, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you subscribe on your way out. Come and join the Discord link in the description if you haven't already. And if you'd like to support the channel, guys, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description for some exclusive videos if you're interested in getting a bit more out of the channel. But guys, we're going to leave it there. As always, take care, and I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.